Hello there, this is Rom, back at it with yet another smartphone couch video. Work with what you got physically. Work with what you got physically. And this is kind of a body game video. But every now and then when I do a body game video, some Bama, I'm going to use the word Bama, get on there and say, oh, you got to have this much body fat and you got to have this and that. First of all, it's dumb as shit because if you step outside, you see women with different men. In fact, one of the things I've said constantly, being select, getting women is more about mindset than anything else. In fact, when I've talked about body game, I've said several times, it's just becoming comfortable with your body, just getting to that point. A lot of guys ain't comfortable with it, but listen to what I'm saying today, though. I know I'm going to have to do a video like this again at some point, probably next month, I don't know. But I'm seeing a lot of men out here, they're not comfortable with their own physicality. But that's all you can be. Because, well, first of all, women don't want just one type of man. Anybody telling you that, ask them, I guarantee they ain't getting no parts of the pussy. They ain't getting anybody. Or they ain't taking their ass out their mother's basement or outside to see what's up. They up there thinking that, like, all these women just want some fashion model or something like that, or they got to be lean. I was like, you talk with enough women. I've talked with some fine women. They not just some average women, because even sometimes you say something, well, they'll take it. Motherfucker, get out and talk to some women. I've talked to some fine women. I've talked to some women who want a little bit of gut on a man. I talked to some women, they want him super slim. Want some women who mind him muscular or whatever. Now, because of that, think about it like this. Women like different things. All you can be is your best self. Yes, let's use the height thing. Because that's major in itself. Don't worry about your height. Your height is your height. There's only so far you can go. You're going to be dealing with that the rest of your motherfucking life. The rest of your life. And I ain't talking about if you want to be one of these dudes who want to like break their bones and try to get taller, have some operation. Because I had mentioned, it was the other day, I do so many videos. I had mentioned about some dude, that dude who had to go through 2 years of therapy. 2 years of therapy because of his height lengthening thing. And there's still going to be a woman who don't like whatever he's presenting. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. Because, see, here's the thing. 4 billion, I was about to say 7 billion. 4 billion women in the world. 4 billion women in the world. All of them don't like the same thing. All of them don't like the same thing. They ain't even going with the same height. And the reality is, most men ain't 6'2" out this motherfucker. They ain't tall. I don't care what you see online. I don't care. I don't go by that. I go by what I'm seeing out here. And I've seen some fine women. I've seen them with everything. And in fact, I've known dudes who had a height range, everything from 5'2" to 6'10", getting women. Everybody getting women. But then I've seen some dudes from 5'2" to 6'10", they having trouble with women. One of the corniest dudes I found out about him, I didn't know him personally, but he was corny as hell. He had played basketball at a major university. But this woman said he was corny as hell. So it's really about the mindset. And if I were to put all the players, like known players, in a room, they ain't all built the same. Even to this day, they ain't all built the same. They don't all look alike. You know? So whatever you got, you have to be comfortable with it. In fact, I got a regular sit-down video coming next week talking about being comfortable. But you got to just work with what you got. If you got lemons, you just got to make that joint into like lemonade, lemon meringue pie, lemon ice cream, lemon cake, whatever. You just got to work with what you got and be comfortable with it. If you a short-statured dude, okay, you short-statured, still do something. Because this one woman, it was a couple women I knew. They say they like short-statured dudes because they know they doing something. Because they getting past it. And then you got some big man. I've talked about big man game a few times. One thing about big men, they comfortable with it. Shit, I could say body game and hitting the gym, and they be like, bro, you know you want this rib here. They be all right. They be getting theirs. But you know what? There's some women who will like it. See, here's the thing with it. Let me, because let's just be real. A dude might be worried about his physicality because he ain't getting any parts of the pussy. Nah, that's your mindset. They ain't the size. If you go outside, you look around, you actually get to know some people, get to know some players. I've known players who they short statured, known players who was lean, known players who were muscular, known players who were big men, like players. If you put them all if I put all the players I've known in a room, they would all look different. Shit, knew this player, this dude had jowls. He looked like Elmer Fudd. He had women fighting over him. Known some older guys. I know of a couple of players. Shoot, they in their 70s. In fact, I know this one guy, he be sleeping in a bed with 4 women. And he told me straight up. He ain't down for body game. He older getting women. I watched him in action. But see, he had the right mindset. Know a dude getting women like crazy. That dude, shoot, he said he had put on some weight, but then he had lost a lot of weight. That dude about 130. I knew this dude, and I mentioned him before. The women called him caveman, 5'5", 130. Going for like some baddies. But all it was the mindset. And what these men did, they just worked with what they got. They were comfortable with it. Knew this dude, he couldn't dress. He had extra weight on him. Couldn't dress. He dressed like a straight up Bama. Had 2 baby mamas. And then hollering at this woman that, well, she had identified herself as a lesbian, but she got 2 kids now. But that's another story. But you just got to work with what you got, whatever you got. You got to be comfortable with it. That's why I say body game is about just getting your best body and being comfortable with it. You might not get down to 15% body fat. Like personally, I ain't even trying to. I'm a 60-year-old man. And actually, my body fat is good for somebody my age. And no, if you don't worry about it, because I know some bam will be like, oh, what's your body fat? Don't worry about it. Worry about your own shit. All right? Because I ain't worried about it. And like I said, when I had lost a lot of weight, when I had my medical emergency, it was women coming back to me saying, hey, you need something to eat? You need a cheeseburger? Shoot, one woman's ready to fly out and help. Shoot, it's no joke. It's no joke. You just got to be comfortable with what you want. And even when women say their choices, don't be trying to tell the woman what she like. Seriously. See, you get too many dudes out there, they thinking women only want one thing. Like, you get some dudes saying, well, women don't want a bald-headed man. Well, some don't. But then I be seeing some bald-headed dudes, shaved-head dudes, walking around with some baddie. In fact, a term I've been hearing lately is bald and buffed. And some women like that shit. Some women don't. And remember, if it's 4 billion women in the world, they all don't like the same thing. That's why I say, as a man, you just present your best, present where you comfortable, and then go from there. Because even with some guys who like let me use a body fat example. There's some dudes who do get it real low. They don't keep it there. Like you get some bodybuilders. or professional bodybuilders, they know they're getting in a contest and they'll get it real low. And then as soon as they ain't in contest season, they eating like crazy. But that's them. That's their world. And then you get some women who like them, but you get some women who don't. In fact, I had there was somebody shared on the IG about the different type of men that women like. Now, the man who was getting the most attention had a little bit of gut. And like I said, sometimes women like that. You get some women who like that because they know they can feed him. And sometimes I'm gonna tell you something now, and I've heard quite a few women say this. Sometimes if the man in too much shape and they not in that same shape, they don't want that. And it like even with your looks, like I said before, sometimes you get some women, they don't want a guy who look better than them. They'll take a guy who look a little bit ugly or rougher looking. But then you get some other women, they gonna like that guy who is drop dead handsome. Now, let's be real. I've said this a lot. Everything I'm talking about now, I've talked about before. But too many guys are caught up into that. Too many guys are caught up into what they think look good. Because they thinking some guys online tell them you got to look like this, which is some bullshit. Every single person, every single man watching this is an individual. All you can be is yourself. You can't be someone else. You can't be that next man. All right? You can't be that next man. You can't be that. You can only be yourself. All I would say is, look, develop yourself. Develop your signature. First of all, let me give y'all some basics. First of all, figure out your best body. If you carrying too much weight, you're not comfortable with it, okay, lose it. Or if you don't you want to put on some weight, put it on. But only because you're comfortable. You're comfortable with it. And then whatever style, don't wear something just because somebody else wore it. Wear it because you like it. Wear it because you like it. I remember something was said by Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, because remember he was an image consultant, and he said, he actually mentioned, he said, yeah, when you do some videos, you'll probably be good in this type of style. I was like, okay. But that wasn't the same as maybe he told somebody else, because I knew somebody else he had worked with, and he gave them something different. Develop your own style. Figure it out. Figure out your style, your signature. Because ultimately you have to have your signature. Shout out Cousin T-Tall. He would talk about male exotic dancers, and he said all of them had a signature. They had a signature look, a signature style. And you want to have your own style, your own thing. And yeah, somebody might be able to have locks or long hair or something. Maybe that's not you. Shave that shit. Shave that shit good. You might not be able to have that full beard. All right. You might have a goatee or maybe even a clean shaven. Because there's always a woman who's going to like it. See, find your style, your signature, your body, build all of that, and then figure out which women like it. But then all of it starts up here. See, you got to get comfortable with that joint. Because if you ain't comfortable with it, you ain't going to be able to talk to a woman. You're going to ignore it. You're going to be forever chasing what you think a woman wants. And I don't care who the woman is. All women want something different. I thought the name Jeremy Meeks, that's always thrown out. Bunch of guys going crazy over him. Guys going crazy over him. But I've seen quite a few women say, oh, well, he too skinny. Now, some other women liked him, but some other women didn't. And remember, there's 4 billion women in this world. See, your main relationship is with yourself. So you got to be comfortable with your body build, your style, how you present yourself. And then you find the women who like it. And if the women, and really, I'm going to be real with you. If you find the women who don't like it, it might not be your style or anything like that. It's probably something within you. It's probably your attitude. Now, that's deeper. That's a whole other video talking about your attitude. But it's really, when you talk about your physicality, everything like that, shoot, you can develop that and then just see who like it. See who present it. Like, you get some people out there saying, well, you gotta have some tattoos. I got 0 tattoos. In fact, I told a friend of mine who just got some tattoos, a lady friend, I said, I don't need no tattoos. My scars are my tattoos. And if I run into a woman who don't like it, in fact, I remember back in the 90s, before we had FaceTime, you had to meet a woman over the phone or something. I was talking to this woman, and we were cool. But she said, you got earrings or tattoos? I said, no, I don't got earrings or tattoos. She didn't want to talk to me anymore. First of all, I would never get earrings. My mother didn't have her ears pierced. I was like, well, fuck it, I ain't gonna pierce my ears. And shit, tattoos, I don't want to put a tattoo on. Like I said, my scars are my tattoos. The women didn't like it. But then some other women, they like that exactly. Like the earring thing. Yeah, that was that woman who didn't want to deal with me because I didn't want to pierce my ears. I had about 3 or 4 other women look at me and say, Ron, don't pierce your ears. They say don't. They use the word don't pierce your ears. So you got to figure out what's good for you, and then what somebody, then you figure out the tribe. But first, figure out yourself. Get comfortable with yourself, your look, your signature, your style. And then whoever like it. Whoever don't like it, shoot, they doing you a favor. All right? So, anyway, that's all I have. And like I said, doing them from home. Had a pipe burst, so they got to dry some things out. So I got to hang around. I can't be doing a car video. And shit happens. I'm just blessed to be in a position where the shit could be fixed right away, or I could afford to have it fixed right away. So, it is what it is. So anyway, I'll get back with y'all, but think about what I'm saying, all right? Peace and blessings.